Good day, everyone. This is Mrs. Marlisa Kauntao, your teacher in Practical Research 2, and I'm here to discuss to you the kinds of quantitative research. Okay, for our learning competency, we will be dealing with the kinds of quantitative research which was given to us by week 1 learning competencies in our MELCs. Okay, so when we say kinds of quantitative research, we are also dealing with what we call the research design. So ano nga ba ang research design? Research design is the overall strategy that you as a researcher choose in order to integrate the different components of your study in a coherent and logical way. Okay? So there are two quantitative research designs. Una is the experimental and the other one is the non-experimental. Okay? Pag sinabi nating experimental, may tatlo tayo dyan. True experimental, QUASI, and pre-experimental. Pag non-experimental, may isa yan. Pero maraming under si non-experimental. Under descriptive. May survey, may correlational, which I will further discuss later on. Let's first discuss what is an experimental research design. So in experimental research design, it allows you as a researcher to control the situation. One good example is my thesis when I was in college. So, di ba yung kung ano-ano hinahanap namin about sperm viability, sperm count, yung mga ganun, sperm movement, something like that nung college. So, sa aming sperm, ayan, na ginamit namin sa mice namin, di ba? Itong mice na to. Ayan. We know that mice we know that this or experimental research has two groups, di ba? First group is the control and the other one is the experimental group. Anong sinabi dito? We create or we make our study in a controlled situation. Kaya nga nung college kami, yung mice namin, nilagay namin sila sa animal house. Ayan, animal house. Ba't namin nilagay sa animal house? Para makontrol namin yung situation at the same time, ay magkaroon sila ng same treatment. Okay, same treatment silang dalawa. Hindi magiging bias. So, it allows us, researcher, to answer the question, what causes something to occur? Okay? Ano ba naging dahilan para maging ganito to? Parang katulad nun, ano yung naging dahilan para tumaas yung sperm count, sperm viability ng aking mice? Okay, ano yung in-administer namin? Yung cabbage. Pinag-avudge namin yung extract, something like that. Yun. So, experimental research design. Pag pre-experimental naman, medyo least ang validity nito, yung internal validity. Bakit, ma'am? Kasi we are only dealing with a single group. Single group lang talaga yung ginamit natin dito. Ma'am, paano yun? Parang ganito. This single group, halimbawa, this group, ay nag-administer siya ng 2 beses. It was administered 2 times. Halimbawa, isang teaching strategy. Sa isang grupo na ito, kinandak namin. Halimbawa lang ha, kinandak. Ba't nabubura? Ayan. Ayaw niya, usulat. So anyway, nabubura talaga siyang kusa. Ayan. So, in-administer ko ng twice. So, meron ako ditong first, meron ako ditong second. Ang ginamit ko halimbawa ay pre-test, post-test design. So, pre-test, tapos nag-administer ako ng aking teaching strategy, tapos nag-post-test ako. Tapos, another set na naman, kasi in-administer ko twice, diba? So, meron akong pre-test, administration, and another post-test. But, instead of comparing the pre-test and the post-test, kay pre-experimental design, ang ginagawa niya, it compares post-test and post-test of those 2 times na na-administer mo. So, post-test nung unang administration mo, and post-test, at ito yung ginagamitan natin ng statistical treatment. Ayan. So, yan yung tinatawag natin na pre-experimental design. Okay? So, we have quasi-experimental design naman. Dito, it was said that it is somewhat similar with true experimental design. Ano lang ang pagkakaiba nila? Dito kasi, meron siyang pattern. Meron siyang arrangement. Okay, for example, dito, ayan o. Halimbawa, magpe-perform ka ng isang educational experiment and your class is divided, halimbawa, alphabetically. Hindi siya randomly selected, Tapos yung halimbawa, or by seating arrangement. Basta may pattern siya. Ayan. But here, you are free to collect more data, either by scheduling more observations or you find more existing measures. Kaya lang, meron siyang pattern. Okay? While our true experiment research design naman, ito na. Ito yung gagawin nyo actually sa inyong research. You have 2 or more differently treated groups. 2 or more, kasi mostly experimental and ano lang yan, control, di ba? Pero others may use isang control, 2 experimental. May ganun. Kasi kami, ngayon, yung study ko, ganun eh. Isang control, 2 experimental, which is mag-make it more reliable and more valid using those things. Kaya minsan ganun yung ginagawa, lalo na sa amin. Pero sa inyo, ang alam ko, isang experimental, isang control lang. And dito din kay true experimental, you are having a randomly selected participants. So, random na siya. Okay? Random na yung arrangement ng groups mo. Hindi ka pwede mamili, no? Pero actually, meron kasi tayong purposive research design na tinatawag. Depende kasi talaga yan sa objective ng research mo. Okay. And this feature required that the researcher have control over the experimental treatment and the power to place subjects in groups. Okay, so that's your true experimental design. So, sa non-experimental design naman, dito, we are not introducing any treatments. We are just collecting data. Diba? We just collect data because of the word observes. Ayan. We observe phenomena that occur naturally. Okay? So, ito si non-experimental. Kaya nga, ang non-experimental ay si descriptive research. Hindi ba? Because when we say descriptive research, yan, this is a study designed to defeat the participants in an accurate way. Okay? Simply to put, sabi dito, all about describing people. Ayan. Who took part of your study. So, example niyan ay una, si survey. Ito, halimbawa, yan. Magpapasurvey ako. Ang survey ko ay kung satisfied ba kayo sa school canteen? Satisfied ba kayo sa way of teaching, way of learning ng new normal? Mga ganon. So, gumagamit tayo ng numerical description. Like, for example, the Likert scale, which has strongly agree, disagree, yung 1, 2, 3 doon. Yan yun. Description of trends, attitudes of people, and opinions of others, of a population. While your ex-post facto research design naman, casual relationship na yung pinag-uusapan natin dito. Whether one or more pre-existing conditions could possibly have the cause of the subsequent differences in groups. Halimbawa, yung effect ng homeschooling sa social skills ng mga adolescents. Yung effect ng, lagi naman ng computer games sa schooling ng mga estudyante. Something like that. Okay. The effects of only using online class in learning. Something like that. Exposed factor research design yun. While comparative research design, you are comparing and contrasting comparing and contrasting 2 or more samples of study subjects on 1 or more variables. Parang itong example natin, you want to have a comparative study with the health problems among rural and urban older people from Luzon. Comparative study yon. While evaluative research, ito na siya, nag-a-assess ka or nag-judge ka, at the same way you are providing information about something other than just merely observation. Halimbawa, a test of children in school is used to assess the effectiveness of teaching. Okay. Halimbawa, kung naalala niyo yung ginagawa namin every year, 'di ba? Yung nag-aano kami classroom observation. Yung classroom observation tool namin, pwede yung gamitin sa evaluative research. Naging effective ba ang mga teachers? Ito, may mga set of sila dyan, standards. Ayan. Depende kasi talaga siya sa research na iyong kinakandak. While lastly, we have yung tinatawag nating correlational research. Meron tayong bivariate correlational studies. Medyo nabubulat talaga ako dito, pasensya na. Where, halimbawa, totoo ba na yung mga bata, yung mga anak ng mga parents na educated at mayayaman can earn higher salaries when they became an adult? Something like that. Na yung parents ko, pag pinag-add ko sila, ito yung product. Something like that. Pag prediction studies naman, ayun, predict. Sino kaya sa mga high school applicants ang dapat ma-admit sa college? Sino kaya sa high school applicants ang pwedeng pumasok sa UP, sa PUP, sa UST, sa LaSalle, sa Ateneo, something like that. Prediction. Pipredict ka lang. While multiple regression prediction studies naman, sabi, kung hindi ang GPA ng high school ang sole predictor ng college GPA, ano pa kaya yung pwede natin gawing indicators? Ang dami pa naman nagsasabi na yung sabi naman, feeling ko ang talino ko ng high school. Tapos nung college na, ang bobo ko pala. Maraming ganon. Okay, isa ako dun. Okay, sobrang nabobo ka na sobra nung college kasi sobrang hirap na nung mga topic or mga lessons. Something like that. So, multiple regression prediction studies. So, that's it. If you have any questions, you may chat me in the chat box sa ating messenger, pwede din sa ating group. Okay? And hope to see you again in our next lesson. And for our references, and that's all. See you next meeting. But don't forget to watch the other video I have, yung patungkol naman siya sa quantitative research across fields. Goodbye, everyone, and God bless.